Everybody, welcome back to another lovely stream / VOD, depending if you're watching it live or not, here. My name, well, is Lichter, and you know that already probably, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So yeah, let's check out what we will do today. Let me quickly open up my wonderful sheet, and then I will go into some questions as well. So let's get going here. Enabling the automatic scene switcher. Switching in, and you probably see nothing. That's great. So let's quickly pull up the right code here. There we go. All right, so we have a few to-dos from yesterday. This is also this is still the stream branch from yesterday, which will kick up. If you haven't seen the previous videos or the previous streams, the VODs are up on YouTube. If you're watching this also a VOD, otherwise it might not be. So let's give a little quick run on what we're actually doing by actually starting the whole thing up. Then we merge this into things, and then we'll get going. The first thing I'll do though is close down another project, which so this runs on port 3000. So okay, let's get going. Yeah, Nuxt. This is what we're using to build a platform association manager. Quickly adding this here as well, and we're good to go. Good morning. All right, so we're building this lovely tool, association manager, for an association. We have the members already, they work. We can give them different payment methods down here. So right now, SEPA or cash. If we have SEPA, then we'll give them all the details for that. We then can submit them. That's all fine. So we added the payment roles yesterday. We made them work. We hooked them up with a database, so we can change things around here. This is a new node. Exclamation mark, and this works. So all smooth and fine. And today we want to make sure the payments work. So we did a little bit of work on it yesterday because this is all fake at the moment. So we want to improve that and hope that will work in like an hour, and maybe going live later again, because dinner is also important. But let's get roll first. First comment, submit instead of save. Yeah, that's, I think, preference. If you submit the form, you save the button. I'll probably just call it, well, you can even say, okay, save. Yeah, I think it's preference. That's right. Probably also would use save in German. But yeah, it's not a big deal. Update is tricky because you might create something and then you have to differentiate between create new user, update user. You could also do that, of course. And before we get into the details here, question from the chat. Able to give me a rundown shortly on what's there from the Nuxt team nowadays? Nuxt Hub, and I think there were other projects. Nikki 2K1 already mentioned Nuxt Studio, which is absolutely correct. Okay, let's have a look. So we have, of course, Nuxt itself, free. Right, you all use it probably, otherwise you should give it a try. No problem, easy peasy. So that's what we have. Then what we have as well is we have Nuxt UI, which is a free component library. Also has a pro tier, basically giving all the cool components with different templates all around there, like a landing page template, docs template, software as a service, and so on, so on. So that's all built in. You can live preview them. You get all these components to use, and it's a one-time payment, and that's already at the moment it's also reduced. So it's reduced by 20% by just using my last name as a coupon code. If you're interested in that, just follow the link in the chat or description. That still runs for a week at the time of recording. So better be faster. And then for services, yeah, we have Nuxt Studio. I think it's studio@nuxt.com, but I'm not entirely sure. Nope. Nuxt.studio it is. It's this fancy TLD. That's always nice. Here we go. So that's also pretty got a pretty nice version bump. Nuxt Studio version 2. So it's basically together with Nuxt content to technically, being a Git-based CMS for Nuxt itself. It has a very lovely editor. It's a joy to use, and that's it's getting started for free. That works fine. And if we take a look at the pricing also here, solo, one user, unlimited projects will always be free, so you can try it out. And then as soon as you have more users, you can just go for it and use it as a team. And the last thing, what we're also using for the project is hub.nuxt.com, so Nuxt Hub. That's in beta right now, Nuxt Studio version 2. And the Nuxt UI will also get a major bump at some point. That's also Nuxt UI Pro is out on version 1, and Nuxt UI is out on version 2. So Nuxt UI will also get a bump at some point, being based on Chat, on Radix View, not Chat CN View. Yeah. So this is that part. Nuxt Hub is basically deploying your Nuxt application on Cloudflare and getting all the goodies. I mean, with Cloudflare, you have that's the best part. All the cool things. You have like a database integration. You have a hub integration, KV integration, caching, and all that. So it's really, really smooth, and that's all together which you can use. Plus, you have a lovely console. So the idea is you can not only like the package itself is free. You can use Nuxt Hub and deploy to Cloudflare without any cost. But getting that nice console here with like your deployments, the storage, also to edit things, having a really nice overview, trying to like pull your API, environment details, like more or less, let's say, the niceness of a modern deployment platform for Cloudflare. So these are basically the offerings right now. Of course, there's also Nuxt Labs, right? So Nuxt Labs here. That's the company behind, also run like Nuxt Studio, Nuxt Hub, and so on and so on. So that's the part here. I think that's a very good summary. Of course, these are like all services around that, and they all have a free or an open source part. Wasn't also a GitHub management tool? Oh yeah, I almost forgot Volta. That's true. I actually Volta. Let's just check Nuxt Labs, easier, Volta.net. I always forget the TLD for that too. Don't have it in my streaming profile here. I don't have lots of the history. Exactly, good point. Not in the Nuxt ecosystem. That's why I also miss out on that. Because the rest is all Nuxt focused. This is basically open source focused. And it's also straightforward. Unlimited public and private orgs. Of course, for a few more features like group repos, roadmap planning, and so on, you can use it. And yeah, exactly. It's a more or less a management tool. Think of it like on top, basically to manage your GitHub issues, but without porting them to a new platform. And it's pretty powerful. So yeah, also worth taking a look. And well, as I just mentioned, most of it is just free to go. For example, yeah, Volta, you can start for free. Nuxt Studio, no problem to try it out. Nuxt UI is just a GitHub package, like an NPM package. You can just get it. And Pro, you'll see what you get very easily. And with Nuxt Studio, same idea. So definitely worth trying any of these out. Hi, Hicham. Welcome to the stream. Last question. UI free is all controls and pros just a templates component. You see, not exactly. So Nuxt UI Pro includes some components as well that are used in these templates, but that's like they are nicely built for you to get ready to like just build your whole application pretty fast. You can use the templates they have. You can adapt them. You can use parts of their components. You can use none of these components at all. So you have that option for sure. I think especially for like a SaaS, it's really nice to just like get going because we can have a look at that SaaS template where I also stole a few things from here and there. Like not stole. I have a Nuxt UI Pro license, of course. So like, okay, build your SaaS in seconds, like the typical start, some placeholders, explaining, and get ready. So you don't have to. And this cool fact, you don't have to like take time to design it or anything. You can just get going. And with Nuxt UI, with the base version as well, you can just customize all the colors, all the schemas. So yeah. And of course, there is more coming. The dashboard one is also really nice. I use a lot of that in the association manager. One can see, yeah, one can clearly see the connection here, and it's pretty cool. So definitely worth. And once again, like all the styling is really unproblematic. Yeah, tiny bit of similarity. The thing is, design is not the focus here. It should work. Like that's the most important part, and my focus on here. Because I don't like it. It's fine if it's the 80% solutions in MVP. And I wanted to build the whole thing fully on stream. I did mostly, except yesterday when I showed a few things that I didn't build on stream because I had to show a demo. So it's like I still went through all the changes, and most of them were pretty straightforward. Nevertheless, let's get into it. So we want to take this here and make sure we actually, yeah, we can leave that out. This is what we did yesterday just for testing. So what we want to do, or wanted to do, is we had like a test API. So let's close all that. So if we have API test here, it gives out a proper XML format for bank transfer batching, which I only prefer with TS projects. Well, I use Drizzle here in that one. It works pretty okay. I still want to try Keisli, but I don't have hard feelings about these at the moment. What do you prefer though? Do you have any recommendations? Also, Prisma is pretty nice actually. I use that in a couple ones too, or straightaway Superbase also sometimes, but Prisma is also fun. Also here I use, very important, I use Drizzle with SQLite, which is different from using Postgres as well. I also see some Drizzle fans in chat. That's great. Happy to hear that. So yeah, we have that XML. We are basically fine with that. Now, the most interesting part, let's go back to our to-do here. Then we commit stuff so we can get rid of this. We like the way I can just write SQL of Drizzle. Yeah, that's true. And hey, welcome to the stream. It's really nice that you're not forced to use the ORM and can just write SQL, but it's also nice that you can use it where applicable. Especially because I know lots of devs who are not really into into SQL for reasons or never learned it. Okay. So what I want to do is let's go to GitHub and thank you so much for the follow, Boss Guns. Yeah, Boss Guns, lovely name. Okay, let's go to the association manager and merge the whole thing in. I hope I pushed it. Yeah, I pushed it already. Okay. We don't squash here actually. Feature from the stream on July 7th. Because they're also already nicely lined up except this one, but it's fine. Or maybe maybe I ignore except that's fine. We'll bring it in. We create a pull request. And we don't do squash and merge. We do rebase and merge. This was not the most beautiful one, but it's fine. Okay, so the trickiest part of the whole thing is the whole payment situation, because there are like tons of edge cases. So we have to go through them step by step and take a look. More or less, I think that the most sense is to describe what we want to do and then code it. So we can start very simple with a new payments endpoint here. We just leave it on get for now because why not? Good, thanks VS Code. So the idea is we want to get all users that need to pay. But that means, okay, what does payment means? In this case, payment means the next, basically first of all, find out the next payment date. And that means, let's do a little tree here. Get the user with the lowest. Get the user with the lowest payments schedule. So like monthly, quarterly, yearly. I think we have like biannually as well. Like this? Yeah, biannually. Did I mistype it last time? I did. Nobody told me. Well, VS Code told me, but I ignored it. Okay, so we need to get the user with the lowest payment schedule. And then we know the next date. So let's say if it's monthly, fine. So example, monthly, well, then it's the 1st of 8th, let's say. So 2024, 081. But if it's quarterly, of course, then it's the 1st of September. And if it's biannually, well, then it's the 25th, the 1st. And if it's annually, then it's just 2025th, the 1st as well, in this case. So we basically don't want to create like empty payments. That's pretty stupid. So we need to get the user with the lowest payment schedule, but also it would be really good to have some criteria for the user. So like we have to get all users that, let's see, have, so right now, it's a bit of a hen and egg problem because technically it's the payment date should be in between the join date and the leave date, more or less. Though, yeah, that matters a lot. So it would be good if the payment date is here in between to actually add them there. The problem is we don't know the payment date unless we know that part. So it could be we end up with empty payments because let's say we have someone who, we have just one user in the database and he has a monthly payment schedule. Or like, let's say we have two. We have one monthly and one annually. And the monthly one is already out. So it's just basically in the system as was part of the whole thing and doesn't have to pay. Then we have 0 people that need to pay. So that's not a problem. That's a problem. We also have a payment schedule, which is, have a payment role, which is not free of charge, because we can fully ignore all the people that are like honor members, whatever. So this can go. Then we have to get the next payment date. I mean, we can also assume if you really like, if we really want to, we can also just say it's just 12 iterations, worst case. So we just say we get all users, we ignore that part. We just say they all have a payment role, which is not free of charge. And it would be really good if the payment, if the current date, because the payment should always be in the future, right? Is that the case? Because otherwise you can say the current date should be like this, but I'm not sure if that's the case. No, that might not be the case. Okay, let's ignore that. Then we just have a payment role. And then we can filter in the end all the users, all filtered users, basically by that constraint that we met here. So this. Okay. The thing is, we have the next payment date. We just take the user with the latest payment schedule and so on, so on. We have the next payment date and then validate that there are people who need to pay. So obviously, we can then say if there are people to pay, if yes, continue. If no, start again with the next smallest unit. Actually, we can even skip these whole things because if it's just 12 iterations, we can just check, get the next month for a payment. Or if there was no payment, so empty state, just use the next month. Else use, I can just put it in one line. Else use the month after the last payment to check. Validate that there are enough people who need to pay. They are greater 0 people who need to pay. Hey Alex, also here, nice. Yeah, happy to see you here. All right. Is anyone else streaming? Did I miss something? Did I just Are there more Nuxt people on the way? That would be lovely. Always happy to see people streaming and showing a bit of Nuxt love. Alex, hello. Hey Karuba, hey. Glad you could join. Alright, so we can do this basically, and then we're good. And we have to like failsafe at, I don't know, yeah, at 12 months after, or let's do 13 just because of by one. As after no payment because nobody there. We could even do a check before how many active members are there in general. But yeah. Okay, then we filter these out. We have the payment date based on that, because then we say the payment date is the first of whatever. Set payment date. And then we filter out the users that didn't join yet, because let's say, oh yeah, there's a person who will join in 2 months. We know it already, we put it in the system. I could stream creating my project. Well, yeah, do it. Maybe if it works, you can also contribute to that one if that also suits your use case. As you said in the last streams, that might be the case. So why not? All right. Kiruba, thank you so much for the follow. Okay, what we do here, we just need this filter. Do we have any other filter that we have to consider? I don't think so. That's actually pretty doable. So, okay. We need lots of test cases for that for sure, because oof. Also, yeah, we definitely do. There's also a topic that came to mind, it's like the whole prorating. So let's say somebody joins the middle of the month, does he pay it all? But it's probably something to do manually for now. Which we should probably bring on the idea to prorate mid-year, month, joiners. Because also it's actually important if somebody says, I want to pay yearly, but I join, I don't know, month after, he still is paying like 1/11 of it. That would be pretty nice. Hey, Photosalamarca, it's nice to see it. That looks exciting. That's great. It's a real life project, and it's lots of banking stuff. So that might be it might be less exciting than you think, but it could also be super exciting. It's definitely nothing too easy. Kiruba, what anime library do you use, Alex? GSAP, Anime.js? I used both actually. I used GSAP for like more complicated things. I used Anime.js for more easier things. I also like auto animate. So you probably know auto animate. I don't have it once again in the history, but the lovely automate from the FormKit people. Shout out to them. Very cool, because things will just work. Like you just use a directive, and then you can technically just say, okay, haha, fun. Also animate these things. Also loved how, let's refresh this. Also really enjoyed here that little pun with Nuxt.js on top of the rest. Love that. So yeah, auto animate is a really straightforward one that I wanna also use more, because it's just working. All right, let's get back to that. Maybe we should also switch branches. I think that would be good, because we have to go to main. No. Okay, git stash. We go to main, we pull, and we say git stash pop. And there we go. Okay. Lovely. All right. So it would be nice to do this. Maybe we actually do this in a totally separate function, because it's a good idea. Let's do utils payment. So let's say export function. Yeah, we can do, that's a good start. Get next payment date. Let's have that as a general idea. Because after that, then we have like result is all users who need to pay, basically. So maybe say get users or get members who have to pay. That sounds really mad. Get all payees. Wonderful. So we need members, which is just all the members. We should have a member type, I think. We have a member type, I think. Type member? Yeah. Oh, okay. We will define it manually then, we'll see. So we need the members for that. We need maybe a previous payment date, but that's optional. Let's do this as a string, or let's actually do this as a date, doesn't matter. Because we need that. Otherwise, we have all the users here. Next payment date. If there was no payment, if there's a previous one, then it's there. Okay, well that there greater than 0 people who need to pay. We somehow need to set a start at some point, so it would be good if the very first payment gives us the starting point and then just calculates that. We make this mandatory. So if there's no payment, let the user provide a start date. When people set up the software, it'd be nice to like, okay, from next month on, not like, okay, you have to do it now. That would be a bit meh. Anyway. Okay, so let's say we have a member. What do we need to know about the member? Technically, we just need to know the ID. We could also say like first name, last name, that don't hurt for that. These are only have a payment role, which is not free of charge. Yeah, okay. That might be enough. This is also for debugging purposes. We might not even need it. The ID could be enough, but we need the payment role ID. Ideally, we need it resolved actually. And here we need the payment role. Let's give the amount. So bigger than 0. No, actually it's not bigger than 0 here, but later it will be. Then it's greater than equals 0. Okay, we have the ID and the payment role amount. Do we technically need anything else here? We just do that check. We do this. Okay, that should be enough. And that might be a good call to add a v-test if it's not already in there. So let's just do pnpmi-d v-tests, because we should definitely test the things around. So this will be a very simple self-containing function. So that should work. So, okay, let's quickly create a v-test config. And because I don't know everything by heart, we just check v-test.dev, because I really enjoy to have the source or like in-source testing. I really like to set up that, because we can just do like an import meta v-test and then we're good. Blockj, hey, thank you for the follow and welcome to stream. So this is a really cool feature from v-test where you can just say like, you know what, we can just throw it in here and test the whole thing, and this is super powerful. So I definitely want that. Okay, we don't have a vt config directly. I mean, we can configure things. Yes. Okay. In production, we don't want to do that. We could also probably just use Nuxt test utils, but I'm not sure. They're really good for obviously testing Nuxt, but they should also work for the Nitro part. So let's try that. I mean, why not? What could be worse? pnpm-d. We already have v-test. Oh yeah, we should also do an I for install. In the meantime, let's switch over here. We need to use the environment, the Nuxt environment. So yeah, Nuxt runtime environment, but we want this. Okay, let's take that. And oops, too fast. vtest config.js, obviously. So vtest.config.js. Nitro test utils. Yeah, I was also thinking about it. It would be pretty good to have that. Okay, let's copy that nicely. it would be pretty nice to have that. I know there is one from Johann, from Johann Schoplich about, let's try nitro test utils. It should exist already. Yeah, there it is. Which is under his personal namespace, so it doesn't hurt to test it. I think it's pretty similar. But yeah, like an official version of that, I think wouldn't hurt. Okay. Let's see. We don't have Happy Dom.js DOM installed. We might not need it, I hope. And okay, now we also need the include source. We can just do, and we need to add these in a sec. Yeah. Okay, we still need to have the definitions. Actually, yeah, that's fine. We have a standalone one. And, oh, they have an unbuilt. That's cool. Yeah, we need these settings. So how do we add that? We can just add it to the TS config here, but people like, it's not the most recommended way. So we can just go here and say TypeScript, I think, config, TS config, compiler options, I hope. Yeah, and what was it? Oh yeah, it was just types. So that's more recommended. And ideally, if we quickly reload the window, we have it working. We'll see in a sec. If not, we'll find a way. It probably also, I mean, this is still running. Okay, let's see. It works. So we just do expect true dot to be true. And we just do pm test, which doesn't work because obviously it's not part of it here. Yeah, can't find anything, which is also correct. Because we need to include, which also what we didn't do, this part, we need to include the sources as well. Wait, we did that. But it's in source folder. That won't work. We do server because this is where we test right now. Okay, no test files found. That's the old result. Let's go. One error, module not found. Happy DOM. Yeah, I thought so. I probably don't need it, but that's okay. Let's go again and give us some green tests. Let's see. Nice. Okay. It will probably also work without the Nuxt environment, I think. Let's quickly restart. Yeah. So let's run it without the Nuxt environment for now and see if we need it because of like some auto imports, we can still enable it. Okay. So what do we actually want to test? Let's write the test first. Basically, it would be good to, we need a join date as well and the leave date. Now I remember, and that's optional. And this is optional, and this is not optional. Okay. So basically what we want is it gives the, it's always the same technically. It always, let's stick with works for now and say const members. So we can just say we have one member. So let's go here with member, and we have one member saying ID tester and payment roll amount 5. That's totally fine. Actually, it can be, everything bigger than 0 is fine. I would go with 500 because it's in cent. We don't need the join. We should add a join date, which is let's do anything in the future and leave date is empty, which is the most common scenario. Still strange this is not working, but we'll see. Oh no, because this only works for we have two separate TypeScript configs. So this will obviously not work for the Nuxt part. So restart the TS server, let's see. Because the TS config here is separate from the one in the server. So here in server we have a, where is it? Let's close everything. And here we have that TS config, which is based on tsconfig.server.json. And that has all these things. And now it should also have vtests. No. Meta? No. It's not in there yet. Okay. Weird. Because that TS config is the problem. It's probably not in there because the dev server is not running. Let's regenerate this by starting it. And ideally this is then added to the rest of it. So maybe you have vtest now. There we go, types vtest import meta, and everything works. Lovely. This is what we want to see. Okay. So we have that members, very simple. Previous payment date is, we can just put in the new, well, we can just put in the actual current date. But like let's stick with 2022. Let's do 24, whatever. That's the easiest start. Okay. We have this, and that's all we need. So what we want to have is, if we call that, then we want to have exactly, we just need a list of IDs basically. So then this should be, we can just say members0.id. And that's all. And of course that will fail. That's totally fine. So what we want to do is we go through exactly this. We get all the members in here. We can also pre-filter them, but yeah. So we probably have to transform a few things on that. So let's say const members with out free members who have to pay. Well, that's not really correct. Members with fee. Let's do this. Is of course we check if the payroll amount is bigger than 0. Nice. We filter them. That's all good. So that's that part. Now we have to find the next payment date. So let's say const payment date equals. Okay, we get the payment date here, and we probably say, okay, let's try the next month. So I use date functions for that. That's a bit better. But we just say get next payment date. Come on. It was there already, very nicely, perfect. And we create a new function for that, just because it's a bit nicer. And this is, for example, a really good scenario where it's totally wrong, because we need the first of that month, not just, oh yeah, it's the next month. So what we need is, we have basically get the first day of the next month. This is already a date, but okay, let's see where this is going. We set the month, we set the date, and return it. Pretty straightforward. I probably still would use something like date functions and just says, I don't know, next, like add month and then first of day or something, because that can go horribly wrong and debugging that is meh. So I probably will opt in to here to add library. So let's say we add date functions, which is probably, is it in already? They added it already? Oh yes, wonderful. We already have it. Perfect. So then we say, How about, let's quickly check. So yeah, dogs. It's also really lovely that they have a playground in their console here. I always liked it, and I hope it didn't work for a while, but it might work again. So we do something with month, right? So let's say they have, of course, add months to quarters, already helpful. They have maxed Monday. No, we can just say, let's add months 1, and then we get the first day of month. Okay. Beginning of month. Let's see. Thank you so much for the follow and welcome. Is same week. There are lots of good things to check. Differences month and end of month, and also if end of month, we also have the beginning of the month somewhere. Last day of month. Then we also have first day of month, I think. No? Start of month. There we go. Perfect. So if we would use that with ESM, then it's just start of month. Lovely. Okay, let's do this. Let's just say add months, previous payment date, 1, and we say start of month. And we of course import that from date functions. Same with this. It's not auto imported because we didn't set up any auto import. We could technically. And that's pretty much it. It's also interesting. They have last day of month, which is not end of month. Or is there no end of? There is end of month. That is last day. Okay, but there is. What's the difference between last day of month and end of month? Okay, it's really like the the end as in like the last possible millisecond. Versus it's just the start of the last day of the month. Docs help sometimes. That totally makes sense. Okay, we have the next payment date. It doesn't hurt to add that. So let's document things. And let's say just returns. We don't need to document the param. Returns date. Well, they don't have payment, thanks. Date indicating the first day of the next month after the previous payment date. Sweet. So it's then pretty straightforward what it's doing. And yeah. Okay, we do this. So then we have to do a very important thing here. We have to check if there are people who need to pay. So we have to basically filter out these people here. Thank you, unknown right now. So const possible payees equals member with fee filter. That's correct. And we say member.join date. We can probably remove the ones without the join date straight away, actually. Because if they have no join date, I have to double check if a join date might not be necessary. So yeah, then we can straight away get rid of them. Here we can say it has to exist. Have join date. Okay. We can even say have a leave date in the past, but let's not go too crazy with that. Okay, and if the members.join date is smaller than payment date, we can even say smaller than equals, because if they join the right date, it's also fine. And if they don't have a leave date, or if the leave date is bigger than a payment date, that's correct. Then we want to add them. So if we now say, okay, there are no possible payees anymore, so if not, then we basically just do the same thing again, because we just say we add another month to the previous payment date. Just say, let's iterate over it again. And we can even say iterations here. Iterations is 0. And somehow we just fail. Iterations plus 1. That's fine. And we do the very first thing here, failsafe. If iteration is bigger than 12, we actually want to throw an error because this is not okay. Throw new error. I'll pay is found for, yeah, after 12 months, that's fine. So this should ideally never happen, but it might will. I think if a member doesn't have a join, it will be considered member with fee. Well, if a member doesn't have a join date, it can usually mean... Oh, wait. You're right. You're exactly correct. It's a logical mistake. The negation there was wrong. Thanks for the heads up there. That's great. But you know what? I'll set it into fix. Because I think it's a really good example for the test. Because our test fails here. And if we fix that, okay, it still fails, but let's see why. Because we don't return anything at the end. So then we just return possible payees if that's not the case. So here it's failing. Maybe now it's working. No, it's still not working. We'll see why. And maybe just fix it straight away and bring it back at the end. Okay. That should be all, huh? I'm just wondering. Oh yeah, that was actually correct. We just need the ID if we want to do that. We can also return the whole member. That's fine. So that's working. That's not working. And that's why, of course, tests are very lovely. Because, hey, especially for like collecting like payments, it's extremely important to test that logic. And now we do a few more things. So what we want to do is it works. Let's say covers the basic case, and we add a few more cases now. So we have this. Let's add not only the basic case, but let's also see it removes people or like members without join date. We can leave everything as it is. The only thing we add is we add here tester2 payroll and no join date exactly, and should just give the same result. That works. What else do we have? Without payment role, which has a fee attached. So just do this for 0 and add a join date here as well. It should still stay the same. Perfect. And then we say it removes members who left already. Maybe here we should say who did not join yet, to make it a bit more human. This with no fee. Just to explain it a bit nicer. Okay, members who left already. We have the join date here, and we have the leave date, which can be also 2000 here. It's also working. So also here we can you can create pretty simple test cases just based on that. And that in-source testing, now we have it all together. And it's tested, it's covered. So that's very lovely. Now we can do things like, okay, what if, I don't know, what's this, when it's a leap year and whatnot, doesn't matter that much. We can still test it if you would want to. We can also test the fail, which is something that's missing. If we have like line coverage, yeah, it fails or it throws if no, let's say errors, that's a bit more human. Errors if no member fulfills criteria. So if we only have this, for example, then we say we expect it to throw, right? Perfect. If we don't add it here, let's say not to throw, it would fail with the error, no pace found. Okay, so here we are, throwing. That's great. And then now we just know all the IDs of the members who actually need to pay, right? So that's a good first step. We probably need a little bit more at some point, because now, yeah, we have to maybe do some prorating at some end, but worst case, you can deal with that manually, and then the person is in. So that's also fine. We just have to note it down somewhere. We can get all the members pretty easily. We have to resolve the payment role amount. And we have to persist. That's also very important. We have to persist the data in a database eventually. So that's more or less what's missing here, because what we do is we can say get all payees, right? That's fine. So what you need to do is here fetch all users or members. Let's keep it the lingo of the project. Transform them as needed. We can also adapt the function eventually. Then here fetch all or like get members who need to pay, and eventually persist the payment in the database. And well, we don't have to calculate much because, we probably have to like calculate payment amount. Yeah, because like for non-monthly, and then we can persist it, and then we're pretty solid there. That's a good start. We also need previous payment date and or start date, which comes through the body, right? So we can just say const body equals or like validate read validated body, have the event, and then just say payment scheme. We can set it up, but it's also pretty simple. We can probably just do it straight away here. Input, we have that here, right? Yeah, the validate function. And just say if if it's not an object, okay. If input dot previous payment date. So if that's not the case, if it's not in here, then we just throw. And if it's not a string and so on and so on, we can also just define a Zod schema. So let's say import z from Zod. Do we have anything we have to consider? It should be a date. We need an object here. We just have previous payment date. It's a string, but it's also not really a string. Because it would be good if we could use date here, but we can't because it actually is a string. But we can try to coerce it. We had it before with date. No. What's with birth date, for example? We had it definitely in a schema. Maybe we didn't check it that much because it's here. Oh, zero course date. Yeah, exactly. But we need to pipe it and to check because it shouldn't be null. Yeah, there's that part. Okay. So we should definitely do that. And then we can just say like, you know what? Const payment schema. Input schema, something like that. Server schema. I don't know. Payment service schema dot parse. And we're done. And now it should work. Okay. And here we have then the previous payment date. We just have to await the whole thing. And here we are. Date or undefined. Actually, now we can say if not then throw. And I will rename it, even though it's not nice to name. Just to make the intention clear, that's important. That it could also be just the start date it should be calculated by. Okay. I don't even need to deal with the pipe. Maybe for the invalid ones, I'll leave it in here to check. Okay, all members is not that difficult because we have already a member route. We have this, right? So we can just fetch them by actually say const members is await $fetch members, and we get all the members. Pretty straightforward actually, because of course we have an API endpoint, we can just call them and it will emulate the call. Let's say const simplified members. We'll simplify members for pay. Yeah, something like that. Let's just do this. And then maybe create an simplify members is fine, I think. So let's add simplify members. Yeah, we need a type now as well. But exactly, we need this. And we need the payment roles as well. Actually, then we can do this and say we fetch the payment roles too, because it's API finances payment roles. Also, it should be extra fetch call. And it should be a promised at all. So if this, we have this. Nice. And then we have to also put in the payment roles here. We can probably just infer the types from usage. It's just a bit ugly. Yeah. Would be nice to define a general type, but let's see. Members, payment roles. So what we want to do is here we want to say payment roles, find, and then give the amount, or it's a 0. That's perfect. For now, we leave them any. I don't want to waste our time by writing a few more complicated types, but we will fix these. Because, I mean, technically, we could even just say, as we did it before, maybe that's better. That's a better option. I used internal API before, but it's fine. So what we do in Nitro, we can say we import type internal API from, I can't type today, I'm very sorry, Nitro pack, right? And then now we just say like, okay, this is basically the result of that, right? We can probably even define it in here, but we need it out of that, okay. So let's say type member is internal API, exactly, API members, get, and then we have the default. No, that's it already. We can put a number here, and then we have our member object, and same with the payment role. So that's a pretty sweet way without redeclaring things. It's a little bit hacky because we use internals, but that's that. And member, and that should definitely work because, yeah, here we also see we just need to put in this here, and that should match. Let's see. I'm very curious if that will work nicely. We can log the simplified members here. We have the payees. So let's put them in here, and previous payment date or start date. Why does it not match? Yeah. The annoying hack for the SQLite scenario. That should work. String undefined, yeah. Oh, ID's a number here, and here's the number 2. That. Oh. And let's quickly update that. And just do 3. Yeah, let's do the following. Let's take that and just do ID 3 here, and tester 2. We do IDs -1. Doesn't matter. Test still passing. That was cool. Yeah, right. It's a nice way of dealing with Nitro here. It's still failing. Why? Join date. Oh, okay. Because we have to convert it. Then let's do it nicely. New date. Member.join. No, it's member dot this year. Okay. Passing. Great. We have all the payees, and we just return the payees and see if that works. Now this should work. We're good. So ideally we can just test in the Nuxt Devtools, because we have to pass in the date, and we will see how things evolve. This is taking long to load. Oh, because we don't have it running. We have our tests running, but not this. Let's see how this will go. Okay, we can close these. All right, nice. We have 3 members. We have one with a join date and a leave date. That's a problem. Yeah, we can't do this. So let's update this to. Oh god. Can I just like I can just fully remove the leave date and then it's fine. Submit. Oh. No, that doesn't work. Because of the coercing, I think. That's. Oh, because I'm trying to delete it, I think that's also a problem. So we can't fully remove it again. Then let's add the leave date to, I don't know, somewhere here. Okay, that looks better. So for these, we have a full one is in there. That should work. We should get that guy because there is no payment yet. We need to pass the date in anyway. So let's take the Nuxt Devtools here, because we have an API tab somewhere. There's so many icons nowadays. They're all really cool. Server routes also nice to see. So what we need, we can close the hub ones. We can close this one. And here. So, oh, it's right. It's a get route. That is correct. But then I can't pass the body. So let's post that. Okay, post route. There we go. Body, how do we call it? Previous payment date. And we do 2024 it's the 1st of June. Yeah. Yeah, it's correct. That's right. That's the ID. That's literally the ID. So we can even say, okay, the payee. I just look at all payee IDs would be better. Did it rename it here now too? I wonder. It probably didn't. Otherwise, I would be very impressed. It did not. Oh yeah, I have to actually properly rename it. Okay, and now we can even say payees.map ID. Member.find, whatever. We can reverse it. It shouldn't be any though. But just because TypeScript is acting up. That should be okay. If we redo the whole call. Yeah, here we go. Okay, that's great. We basically can get all the people for the payment. That's perfect because that's exactly what we need. I'm just wondering if there's anything else. We can call that endpoint easily. That's not a problem. I still wonder why this should not return any. It doesn't. Then it's really just a file that I accidentally saved or so. That's fine. Probably just rebuild. And sweet. So yeah, the payment amount, we can calculate them as well. I think it would also be good. If we have it simplified anyway, do we really need to? Maybe I'll switch it back to payees, I think. So let's quickly switch that back to say get all payees. And then we say everything.to in that file. We can just say .map p.id. That's probably the easiest. Because it doesn't hurt to have the data here. Let's get the .2 and we probably need just this part and say .map p.id. That's it. Test is still passing. Good. Then we have all payees. Yeah. Now we have to wait for the help here then, and then we can just return the actual payees because it's probably enough to use them. We have the amount they have to pay. There's just, I think, one more information we need that we can adapt, because we also need from the payment role itself in Simplify members, we need the payment role amount, but we also need I can just attach the whole payment role, whatever, because we definitely need the amount, the ID. No, we need the schedule. Oops, that's fine. Then we can even leave it like that and just say payment schedule, because otherwise it's a problem. Also, we don't filter it out because we need to. Are you implementing a usage-based billing system? Wasn't here from the start and just saw the comment for the no monthly amount. Fabsgiving, funny name, love it. Yes, so what's happening? We started this project 3 months ago that I did long time nothing, and I will have the MVP ready by tomorrow. Exactly, this is part of a, like, it's more or less like a monthly payment system for this association manager. So just like for all the members, they can, I say, like, I can pay in cash or others, or SEPA, which is basically a German batch banking digitally somehow. So that's what I'm implementing right now. Of course, there are like solutions that cover things like Stripe and so on, but this should be like a very simple tool without setting up too much around it on a small scale. And yeah, exactly, that's the whole idea there. That's correct. All right. Simplify, get all pay. Yep. We probably add the payment schedule here. We have a payment schedule type. I know that. I hope that. We have this. We don't. It's just a string. Okay. Then we probably should. We have. Oh wait, we have the biannually one. as a constant here. Yeah, payment schedule options. Okay. Then we say type payment schedule IDs is exactly just this. And then we can use that. And also welcome to stream, by the way. I totally forgot to say that. Let me know if you have any questions. The whole thing is built with Nuxt.js. So with that lovely framework. It also includes Nitro, which is the server engine. And we're finishing it up. I think also after the feature, I will go for a little break in terms of food and probably come back in a bit for another evening session, because there's a little bit to implement and it doesn't hurt to finish before tomorrow evening, where the deadline is. So let's get this from. Is it in utils? Oh yeah, strange. That should be maybe not types, but payment schedule IDs. Payment schedule IDs. Oh God, come on. Exporting. Okay, then we have to keep that. Okay. Yeah, okay, payment schedule, monthly, we can add that, that's fine. Add that everywhere. Let's add this here. We do formatting in a second. Oh, come on, for real. Then we just do this. Okay, okay. Oh yeah, that was the one that says 0. Sounds great. I'm currently working on a user-based build system based on Tinybird, but I'm looking for a simple solution. So this stream is coming perfect time. Yeah, lovely. Actually, yeah, the whole code is open source, so I will quickly link that. GitHub association manager. Feel free to have a look into it. It's nothing too crazy. It doesn't do like pro ratings straight away. They're all like on the list of future ideas to cover. Because I think probably the easiest way of really doing that is taking something like Stripe, if you can take an additional service into it. But if you want to have it all in one platform, I think that's the easiest way to go. Because it shouldn't be like a payment provider in between. This should just be for tracking. So yeah, glad to hear that. Okay, we have that. Now we have the schedule. We need to calculate the time, say the amount, const pays with payment amount. Okay, that's nice. The payment amount is this times payee dot payment schedule at month interval. That's also correct. That's not really working. Okay, this is getting a bit too big. We can split it up because I think it's not readable at some point anymore. Let's say const payment schedule. We can do this. We have to import payment schedule options. It's not exported, apparently. It really is not. Why do we have that then? Okay. Payment schedule options, and why is it an array, I wonder? How fun we have that. Wow. I'm surprised. Okay, quarterly, half yearly, yearly, it's fine. And then we can just do payment schedule IDs. It's fine. We can do this. But then I wonder, it might be the easiest to just actually give that and don't provide the ID. It's fine. It's such a small lookup. We'll keep that. Yeah, now we can import it. But this should be auto imported though. Let's see. This transaction cost kind of annoying. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Even though it's a small part, and it's still a couple percent. Plus, I mean, if you can roll it your own, and that's fine working, then why not? But yeah, I basically, what I do, I skip the big part of, I skip the very big part of the whole payment, like actually processing the payment. This is really just the tracking. Okay, we cast it here. Whew. So we need a schedule. We need to get these options. They're still not in there because they should come from utils constants. I wonder why they don't, because it should be auto imported. Quickly double checking. We have constants here. It's exported here. It's exported there. So let's see. Still not okay. You know what? I'll batch. I'll import that like that. It's fine. We have the schedule, and now we say const payment amount is the payment roll times the monthly interval, because this is already the monthly interval. Payment amount in cents. Okay. Then we can just get the whole payee and the payment amount. And we are good. We have all of that here. So we have the amounts. And then we have to persist it. So that's still the to do. Persist. And that's for another time, which is probably later this evening. But right now I think we did the biggest part. Like now I have to add a schema and so on and so on. But that's fine. Okay, calling one more time for questions, for comments, anything. Before we close the stream of the video after 1 hour and, well, 20 something minutes. That's a good time frame. That sounds reasonable. You also have to reset to have server quite often. Is this a view Nuxt specific problems used to worsen 1 or 2 months? That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure what part triggers it. So I think Volar, like the Vue language tool extension, might be part of that. VS Code might be part of that. But there are things, the things got better already. I just have to double check. I can do it right now. If actually I have the most recent, because there was an issue with the Vue.js extension, and yeah, that's fine. So not this one. It is this one, and that's good, because I remember there was an issue where it was stuck on like 2.0.10, so that's a bit annoying. And for the auto imports, yeah, like I'm on WSL, so this apparently also is a part of that. But it's usually it works better. I think just have a bad day. Like in the last videos, it wasn't that much of a problem, I have to admit. Plus, it's mainly for the auto import things that I changed. When normally working, it should work fine. And let's do one more thing actually while we're on it. We can just call it again to double check our results. It doesn't look like much that we did, but we did quite a bit. Oh no, here we go. So this is all saved, which is really lovely. And now we have the ID, join date, leave date, payment schedule, payment roll amount, and here we go. Actually, oh wait, one more thing. Haha. We have to also emit the payment date. Get all P's and payment date. Oh yeah, that's one more thing. Because we also want to know when it should be collected. So that would be nice to also omit that. Pays and payment date. So that would be helpful. So we check the pays here. We can also check the payment date. That's also a good idea to test that real quick. So let's say the payment date here. The payment date should be in this case, it is a monthly one. We check 2024, so it should be this. And I hope that's the case. And let's see if this will... The rest should fail, but one should be okay. Yeah, one is okay. Perfect. We take this part. Actually, don't have to find a place. We just do multi-cursor. The piece. We take this whole line. We duplicate it. Yeah, it's okay. We go there. We remove this and we say payment date to equal. That should all equal the same. I think. Oh no, that's true. One of them might not. Because the last one is throwing. This should not give anything. Yeah. Okay, now 4 more failing. Why? Interesting. That's actually also true. Yeah, that's correct because of the time zones. Because I return it as new date. Okay. That might be a bit trickier. Let's quickly have a look. Because if I run this in a different time zone, this will also break. I mean, it would be enough to say we test the get new payment date function. Because I mean, that's correct. The timestamp is in UTC. Maybe I will just change the previous payment date to something. But even then, if it's run in different time zones, it might break. Anyway, we just try it. We do 12. Evoke better than that. Okay. True, it doesn't matter because it's about the... If I adapt it here, then the CI it won't run anymore. That's a problem, which I will not fix. Actually, wait. We can fix it now. I have an idea. So what we can do is we take, because it's about equals, right? So we take all this and say new date and just say it's the next one. This should work, no? That doesn't look like. Okay. Unfortunate. So just thought if we could like, payment date should be a date, right? So this is a date. So if we just go 2024 like this, save it, but it's not the case. Okay. Let's try get time and also use get time on the other new date here. It also doesn't work because it's a function. Why is it a function? Now I'm confused. Okay, this definitely doesn't matter because this should throw anyway. Here we go. Okay, so they're not super exact. They're not accurate here. Interesting. But why not? Because it's exactly the difference, huh? Yeah. That will be fun. Let's comment it out. Ready to do fixed test to ensure payment date works. And I just commented only here, huh? Yeah. Let's try this again. And now they pass again, quote unquote. Let's quickly fix this as well. This is not that often, it's just 2 times. It's okay. That might be for another round. It's still strange that they don't match necessarily, because if I create a new date here as well, and I get the time, I mean, we can just check what it actually is. Once again, we can just do this, and it gives out 2 hours before because of UTC. But if you say get, if you do to ISO string, still the same. Okay. Yeah, that's one for another time, but it's okay. Let's just return to this part and fix this here and say we get the payees and we get the payment date, because we should also provide the payment date. So there we go. I have to rename get all payees as well one more time. So like, okay, here we can do find replace. Get payee information, or like get all pay information. This seems fine. And then we have the payee. We have the payment date, which we both return. We format a few things. If we now run the whole thing, it will give us the, yeah. We still have to double check how it is with the time zones, because while this is, well, this is correct in a way. If we select new date, this is exactly midnight on the 1st of July, which is correct, but here in Central European time zone, but it would be nice to handle that all UTC. Okay, this will be another to do here, to do UTC, date handling, C payment.ts, which I probably will bother about next time, because we're getting close to that. The tests are passing, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm very curious why Nitro was also not in the latest Nuxt Nitro version. So that's also probably one of the reasons why TS is acting up a bit. Now when I do a project with Nitro, thanks Alex. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Glad it's glad you enjoyed seeing a few things doing with it. Let's add this with like another branch, and we say feature, it's stream 2024/7/8, that's today. Work in progress payments, because we won't do that nicely and we just squashed it at some point. Okay. So here we go. That's it for now. I'll probably join you all later for another round, but now it's time for some dinner. Or in your case, maybe take a break, maybe continue working when you watch the VOD. As usual, have a good time. Take a look at some YouTube content, some older streams, or follow up with next videos already. Thank you so much. Bon appetit to everybody also having some food now. And yeah, hope to see you another time and talk to you soon, folks. Bye-bye.